Good evening, Internet. It's me, DP Knudten, for another exciting edition of BOOKWARD BOUND, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? It's the creation of a brand new book by January 1st, 2021. Actually, press-ready files that I want to upload to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will be self-producing a new book that looks a little something like this. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. Yep. And that's exactly what the book looks like, and also what it's about. It's about creating a truly authentic personal brand that's based on who you truly are. And it's also works for small business brands because, get this, I'm all with Mark Schaefer that the personal brand is the company brand. And it's really important for you to create that compelling, completely true, completely you brand. And so this book is all about that. But this series called BOOKWARD BOUND is all about me getting my sorry butt back down in my chair every night for 301 consecutive days so that I can work on this book and progress it forward in one form or another. You know, some nights I'm going to be writing, other nights I'm going to be designing, outlining, staring at the screen going, I got nothing. All of these things have happened so far during this journey. I think tonight just might be the 110th consecutive day live stream. So 110 consecutive live streams. Are you kidding me? I thought I was biting off more than I can chew, but I guess I'm doing a pretty good job chewing. In fact, I'm getting a lot done. In just a second, I'm going to show you the program I'm using to write this bad boy. But I will say that I want to thank you for helping keep me honest by making me come down here and work on this book. Because if it weren't for you and the fact that I said out loud that I was going to do this to people exactly like you, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably be sitting upstairs binge watching something. But instead, I'm down in the catacombs of Nonfiction Brandversity working on the book. And the book looks a little something like this. You can see this application right here. It's called Scrivener, which I highly recommend for anyone who's thinking about writing a book. And as you can see right here, this is the main window where you actually write the stuff. Over here is a list of, I don't want to do that. A list of all the sections and chapters in the book. And I've even gone so far as to color code stuff. So I know that if it's green, it's already done and been more or less first pass proofed. Blue means it's pretty much done, but it needs some serious proofing and editing. And yellow means you've written a bunch in here, but maybe it's not completely done yet. But the scary ones to me are the red ones, which is you've thought about writing about something about this, but you actually haven't written anything. And you'll notice the farther back in the book, there's a whole lot of red. There's a whole lot of rash going on. So I really need to get this going. But this is also the way I work and how writing a book works. Well, if I were smart, I'd be writing one of these sections here. Instead, I'm going to add a new one that that only came up because something happened today that I actually want to write about. So, where do I want to put it? I guess I'm going to put it right here for now. And I want to say light bushel. Light. How about we call it shadows and spotlights? Yeah. Shadows and spotlights. And I'm going to give that automatically a yellow, not done yet, because I haven't actually shadows and spot. Spotlights. Maybe I should call it something like your shadow, yours. No, I want to. It's like bushels. Hide your light under a bushel. Rid of your bushel. Not get. Get rid of your bushel. That's a working title right now. Sorry, I'm not loving it for various reasons, for obvious reasons. But true story happened today. TS HD HT. True story happened today. I was on a call with a client about the creation, conception, production, and launch of a new podcast for their business, and something happened that is a near perfect example of what I think of as the light bushel syndrome. That's what I'm calling it. The light bushel. And syndrome is overused, so maybe I'll come up with a different term. The light bushel syndrome. As we were, it's still really early days on this project, and this was the very first time we had even discussed anything with the full project team about the podcast. Semicolon. But it would be about how we would be creating a format for the show, and how we'd be and some thoughts about who would be hosting it on a regular basis. A big part of my process at this point is to focus the group and then on a regular basis. When I asked a question about the host, would it be about who the host would be, they had a very clear idea of they instantly named the woman who'd be anchoring the show. Then I asked some questions about show title, about the show's title or lack thereof, period. They had an initial working title that I think might end up being the actual title. But I followed up with a question with a very important question in my mind. Will the host's name be part of the title? The woman tapped to host the podcast appeared to be immediately uncomfortable She explained that as a self-described introvert, she would be more comfortable with her name not being a part of the title. Any guesses on what my response was? Based on what you've read so far. Comment any. My response was you're missing a huge opportunity to not only raise your personal brand profile, but also raise the perceived value of the company's brand at the same time. So we're going to make that, got to take that down to Funky Town, take out some of the leading on that. Leading is the distance between two lines of type. See how it kind of tightens things up. Okay. This should actually be the other non-host members of the team agreed as well. Agreed. The reason the company is doing the podcast in the first place is to burnish its brand, demonstrate the quality of its principles, and give a human voice and face to the company name. To have that, because here's the thing. if an event or conference is looking for speakers, the vast majority, they are generally looking for people first. Sure, they'd be happy to get the janitor from Google to talk about anything. But if you're from a smaller regional business, they aren't likely to call to see if you've got someone that could speak to their group. But if you've got an associate who has proven they are smart through a podcast, pleasant and personable through companies, podcast, through pleasant and personable through your property, and really good in public speaking situations. Guess who they're going to want to speak from their stage. Elsewhere in this book, I talk about where did I talk? Worse than imposter syndrome. Yeah, to be clear, experience. Yeah, see, if I went, this is almost like a subsection of this section. The light bushel to confliction. Or conundrum. probing further, it was clear that the host's reluctance to have her name associated with the podcast was not related to shyness, to fear, fear or what? It's not related to fear or it's not. How about it was not fear related? Fear related. Comma, but due to an admirable, but if you ask me, misguided sense of humility. For all the reasons mentioned in this section, there is just no reason to not take credit for who you are, what you do, and how you do it. And false modesty doesn't do a whole lot of good for anyone. Consider the nightly Just fixing up some leading here. I'm going to tighten it up even more. It's 4. Yeah, 4. Okay. Exactly 4 points. All right, so I'm going to have to, what I might do is take all of this and paste it into this section. I suppose I should explain what I mean by light and bushel. I want to delete this one. Move to trash. There we go. So what is the biblical injunction? Hide your light under a bushel. So hide your light under a bushel. It's a parable of Jesus. Nor do they light a lamp and then put it in a bushel. Sit on. Any guess as to what? Response was? Okay, so this is, how about the truth about false modesty? Yeah, there you go. That works. That works. All right, so I'm going to quickly take a look at word count for the entire book, just because I like to keep a running tally kind of in my head. I love the fact that, right down there, 29,738 words. Average reading time, take 2 hours to read the book. We got to make that longer, but good. Was it 28 or 29? 29,232. All right, so if we go 29,232 divided by 300 words a page equals 97 pages. With change, I'm well into the 100. That's good. That's I'm thinking we're getting close to halfway. You know, if the book's going to be targeting 250 pages, that's pretty cool. I'm feeling good about that. You feeling good about that? Of course you are, because I am, and good. So it's a Friday night, and I got really good work done today. As a matter of fact, let's just take a look at that section again. And how many words? So 475 words written tonight. That's pretty good. I'm cool with that. So we're going to be working on this again tomorrow night, as usual, and undoubtedly every night until December 31st of 2020. And then the very next day, I'm going to upload those press-ready files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing space, unless I've already done it, because my goal is to actually get this book done before then, so I can start working on a companion worksheet workbook to go along with this book, because wouldn't that be sweet to have the book and then have a larger format worksheet book that people can use to create their own personal brands and their own personal brand marketing platform, their messaging platforms, things like that. And I think that could be really, really cool. So that's my goal. And how am I going to get there? I'm going to get there with your help. So thank you so much for helping me tonight by making me come down here and work on this bad boy, because, you know, it's not always the most fun thing to do when, you know, you've been working all week and stuff like that. Sometimes it's nice to kick back a little bit. In my case, I'm kicking back and I'm writing a book because you told me to. So thank you for that. I'm DP Knudten for the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to be editing an episode, a two-part episode featuring Leah Bach, who is a realtor from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And really cool, really fun. I think it's going to be a really fun podcast. And then probably tomorrow night, I'm going to take, because we recorded this several weeks ago, my brain will be refreshed with how great Leah is, and I'm going to write about her in this book because she's doing a kick-butt job of building her personal brand and communicating it in really fun, different ways, especially for realtors. You know, I love to say that realtors, if you're a realtor with that all caps and a circle R, that just means they get to put you in a bucket called realtors or a barrel called realtors, and you're only as good as the worst one in there. Leah and I have actually worked with other realtors too. The smart ones are pulling themselves out of that commodity bucket and putting themselves forward as personal brands that provide tremendous value. Really smart. They're doing what this book is all about. So I'm really happy to be using Leah as an example and a case story for this book. So that will be coming out Monday, and you can get it wherever podcasts are free. So by all means, check that out. All you have to do is search Nonfiction Brand wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, you name it. And you'll be able to hear, I think we're up to episode 98. The one I'll be editing tomorrow, I think, is episode 98. Maybe 99. I got to get this straight. Because, boy, I should be celebrating 100 episodes, don't you think? Yeah, I really should. And I think I will, because you gave me that idea. So thank you very much, internets. I really, really appreciate it. That's it for me tonight. So I'm going to say good night, and let our theme music take you on out. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.